Okay, in continuation of previous class, revision of question paper, July 2019. Remaining questions I will discuss today. Along with that, I'm going to discuss the case study which will be come in your third IA test. For this time, I have chosen the case study from the journal publication, which is relevant to your mobile application. Okay. So first, let us continue where we left off from the previous class. Okay, in the previous class, we have seen till question number 7. Now, question number 8, 7, yes, 7, we have completed 7AB, right? Now, briefly discuss the concept of binding activities to services with suitable code snippet. So okay, for this, as you are aware that service is nothing but a thread of action. So you need to extend the thread service from the main activity. You can make use of the intent and pending events to connect with the services. So binding activity to services. So binding activities to services in Android. Such samples involved. Better have a pen and paper. It helps if the similar kind of question will appear in the examination. It helps you to write that answer. A bound service is the server in a client service interface, such as activities to bind to the service, send request, receive response, and perform inter-process communication, etc. Okay. Apart from our regular textbook and textbook reference and the web reference, we'll go with the another reference, that is Academy. It is providing the some of the snippet code for your answering that question. Binding activities to services. So when an activity is bound to a service, you think of service is nothing but it's a two types of services. Two types of services. One is running behind the scene. The another one is uh, running at forefront of the activity. So most of the time, services like operating system services, providing the background services, like suppose if you are composing some presentation with respect to your project, parallelly you are running the audio, except such kind of the things, right? Such kind of the services, but services anyhow it is connected to your user interaction. So foreground service as well as it becomes a background, depending on the context of the method calls from the user. The services either running at the foreground or at the background. So binding is available for activities that would benefit from a more detailed interface with a service. To support binding for a service, you require to implement onBind method. OnBind method needs to be implemented. So the binder, create a constructor for the binder, and through iBinder onBind method, you are passing the intent from which activity to which activity is going to be called. So intent is a filter. It helps to connect the different activity within the application, as well as it helps to connect the other external applications through the pending intent and broadcast receivers. Okay, so return binder, when it is a snippet code is asked in the question also, you can write the snippet code. Public class my binder extends the binder class. My service is what get service get, so fetching the service from the service at the behind the scene. Return my service dot this. The current instance of the service it is going to be returned. So the connection between the service and the activity, is it visible? The connection between the service and activity is represented as a service connection. So you need to implement a new service connection by overriding on service connected and on service disconnected. So on service connected helps to get a reference to obtain the service. On disconnect, once the service is completed, you can exclusive you can request for on service disconnected. Again, my service binder it needs to be instance is required because you need to have a establishment between the front activity and the service. Even service is a part of activity, right? Events it is a service is a part of activity. You need to establish a connection between the activity and the service. So instead of parallel processing that services, even though at the background parallel processing is happening, but uh, at foreground you need to establish a connection. Otherwise if activity is running at front, a separate thread is running, there is no connection, means you can run both the process parallelly, right? So here you are establishing a connection between your activity and the service. So handles the connection between service and activity. So service connection object is required to connect it, and on service connected method is going to invoked. Component name, which class you are binding with the binder service, called when the connection is made. This line is important line to be noted as a snippet code. So service binder equal to my service that my binder for that service get service. So you are returning the service binder which is connecting to the activity and the service connection. So once the service has completed, then you can exclusively invoke the on service disconnected method. Then you can reset the service binder to null. So this is the snippet code for how to establish a connection between an activity and the service. Okay, it was asked for the 8 marks. Now, question number 8b. Name the permissions you need to declare in your Android.manifest for an HTTP connection. Say just 4 marks it is asked. What is the Android permission required to declare a HTTP connection? Permission required to declare an HTTP connection in Android manifest.xml. Add internet permission in Android manifest.xml. So which one? Last component is internet. Last component is internet. Users permission name internet. So by specifying this one, you will get 4 marks. 4 marks for this. So internet permission is required to launch the application which uses the HTTP request. Okay. So there are lots of discussion which was exist with stackoverflow.com. So what permission do I need to access internet from an Android application is the some specific questions they were asked. The permissions which required outside the application is user's permission Android name equal to android.permission.internet. So just by answering this one, you will able to get the 4 marks. Okay. So one more permission, if required, you can include access network state also. You can include access network state along with internet. Okay. Then question number 8C. Write a note on asynchronous calls in networking. So asynchronous calls in networking in Android. In Android. So Android does have a resource to help handle network calls asynchronously. Using async task, you are establishing a asynchronous mode of execution. For example, loading the progress bar. So it uses the asynchronous task. Loading the progress bar. It uses async because when the progressing is happening, at the same time parallel thread of execution it will happen. It is also showing the percentage of loading the process remaining task to be done. So in between it is showing the synchronous thread of action. So it's a synchronous thread of action. So asynchronous means you can do it in parallelly. Let us go with the developer.android.com. There you can search it for synchronous tasks snippet code, or we can refer our textbook or my PPT. In that several examples are available for asynchronous task. Asynchronous task. Synchronous task. See here the with respect to the content based async task loader, with respect to the OS based async task, you just go with the async task of the Android. So through this snippet code, you just refer the Java. There are two variants are here, Kotlin and Java. Currently we are referring to the Java code here. So abstract class async task extends the object, that's our universal class, parameters, progress and result. This is the one asynchronous task example is android.os.async task. It is a generic class asynchronous task. So again, when it comes to the asynchronous task, it enable proper and easy use of UI thread. So user interface thread. So asynchronous task is nothing but almost, again it is a concept of threading only. So parallel thread, parallel programming also it comes into the picture. However, the most common use case was integrating into UI, and that would cause context leaks, missed callbacks, or crashes on configuration changes. So there is a security weakens the security since if your application allows to run the threads uncontrolled fashion, there is a possibility of data leaks and context leaks also. So missed callbacks. Missed callbacks means you can think of two persons are here. one is so high speed performer and one is a low speed performer, and another one is mid speed performer, moderate speed performer. In that case, synchronous, usually synchronous is in between. There is a possibility of callbacks are missing between the coordination between these three parties. So in that case, there is a possibility of crashes on configuration of configuration changes may happen. So in the same way, the different UI and different threads are there. So to coordination, it becomes a little tedious in that asynchronous tasks, synchronous tasks. So it also has an inconsistent behavior on different versions of the platform, swallows exceptions from do in background. So and does not provide much utility over using executor directly. So I think asynchronous task is to be designed to be a helper class around a thread and handler, does not constitute a generic threading framework. So async task usually it's a generic framework, so which is intended to make use in many UI applications in Android. So just go through, explore few more thing about the asynchronous task with the snippet code. So download files. If you are downloading the multiple file from a different websites, then there is a possibility of extending to make use of asynchronous task, because at a time you are not initiating all the downloads from various websites. Suppose if I ask you gather the information about the mobile application, which is that mobile application which will be run in iOS, which will be run in Windows, which will be run in HiOS, which will be run in Android. So then you will start searching in Google. So many several links will be there. So when you start opening those all the links, you are not clicking all the links at once. You are clicking the links one by one sequentially. So after that, a download happens asynchronous. There is no communication. It means individual downloads happens. There is no connection between one download to another download. In such cases, you can make use of this asynchronous class. Do in background all the URLs which is going to be appended here, and how many URL length is there. You can calculating that one, and each URL is going to be download as a separate files. On progress update progress also you can create the progressing of it, and on post execute, once download is completed, it is going to show the file has been downloaded successfully, like that. So you can refer few more things about the asynchronous task. Again, you check with the question paper how much marks it was asked. Depending on that, you try to write the answer. Okay. Any questions are there? Any questions? Fine. So now the next question is module 5. It comes from module 5, 9A. What is a program level in iOS? The program level is not the program level of the technical part. It is asked for iOS program level. One is the developer programmer level, that is individual developer. Another one is enterprise or programmer level. Another one is organization programmer level. Another one is university level program. So just recently we have discussed about what is program level in iOS. Independent level, each individual can carry out the development of iOS before launching onto the Apple Store. They needs to adhere the guidelines of HIG, Human Interface Guidelines. Then based on that, some MIT Smart Dream website is there for launching the individuals uh, developed developed iOS mobile phone applications. So there it is allowed free launching of those applications. Then the second level is the business level or the organization level. So like development for that particular organization within the campus, within the range of the within the range of a particular city. So developing such kind of application is at the organization. Organization may include the governmental sites, defense sites, or the campus like as the BMSIT, like such kind of the things. So then university level, like universities, VTU, it might be VTU or some other university, MIT, etc. University level. Maybe sometimes it might be the outsourced from university to develop that application. That is called as enterprise kind of applications. These are the different levels, program levels, which will be available with iOS developer. See how it is simple and easy question for you to write to get the good marks. Then write with a neat diagram, explain iOS project. Recall the iOS project, the project internal structure of the iOS project. Just go through with this program levels. Just now we have seen different Apple developer account, individual account, then iOS developer program, which will have program level allows. Program level is nothing but allows in to deploy the application which is developed by the developers of iOS to Apple Store, individual, a sole proprietor, a company, organization, government entity, or educational institution. Different levels of program. Just now we have seen iOS developer enterprise program for organization, government, entity, or educational institution. Then university level program, usually higher education institutions, which will come into this picture. Then second question is about the iOS project internal structure. What and all it consists of? Xcode and the iOS SDK is a minimum requirement to develop with iOS. Xcode is an integrated development editor. It's an IDE to develop the iOS applications. iOS SDK is required to install with the Xcode. Then after that you need to have the Xcode for IDE, dashcode for web-based development of applications for iOS phones, iOS, iPhone, iPad, etc. The next content is iPhone simulator is required to run and test the application which you develop. But the question is asked for what? What is the question? The question is asked for with a neat diagram explain the iOS project. So the iOS project which consists of the iOS project about consists of anatomy of an iOS app. The anatomy of iOS app, it consists of views. Views are nothing but all the GUI components such as text fields, labels, buttons, etc. and so on. Then it will involve the code code that makes the views work. That is, it follows the MEC design pattern, and also it involves the storyboard. Also it involves the storyboard, and also it has the resources is which will be maintained as an icon file, that is info.plist. So info.plist is another resource file. All the resources which will be used by the application is maintained in this. How it you are maintaining in the Android is R resource, R dot id dot so and so. R is a nothing but a resource there. Here info.plist is applicable in iOS. So which are the resources? Usually the images, sounds, and video. Then after that, project structure in depth, if you go with that, you can write iOS project is created within Xcode. IDE creates a set of files that are ready to run. The first file is main.m. It's an entry point of the execution of the iOS application. Then the second part is second file is app.delegate.m. This manager receives a message from the application object during the lifetime of your application, right? Then the main storyboard, it was helpful to create the flow of user interfaces which you are defining. Usually the storyboard extension is .xlb, then .xib, for application with complex navigation and many views. Then supporting files usually which will be present at the plist setting files. This is the internal structure of iOS. You can just go through the PPT. You are able to see the content of it. Okay. The next, the last question from this question paper is question 10. Describe the anatomy of a Windows Phone 7. So the anatomy of the Windows Phone 7 is, it consists of the panoramic view, then metro, right? We'll just go through that anatomy of Windows Phone. Yes, Windows Phone. So Metro is one feature. It uses the Sego font family. Then it uses panes of content. Menus are replaced with panes of content. Then panoramic view and light and dark mode, dark theme device. These are all the features. It's not anatomy. These are all the feature. Applications bars is another feature of the Windows Phone. Tiles are another feature. Tombstone is another feature of the Windows Phone. Tombstoning, right? Tiles tombstoning is another feature of Windows. Here, this is the answer for the anatomy structure of the Windows Phone. It needs the hardware. Hardware supporters of vendors are HTC, Nokia, Samsung. Then it needs the Visual Studio and Windows Phone SDK, .NET framework, either with an XNA or Silverlight framework is required. Microsoft Rich Internet Application Framework, that is Extensible Application Markup Language, XAML, which is used to develop the user interface for Windows phones. Then these are all the installation part. Then you come with the anatomy. So the anatomy, it includes, one second, anatomy of Windows Phone 7. It includes the following: storyboards. Storyboards are Silverlight control type of managing animations in code. Whatever you see, whatever you get editor, which will be used with the Windows Phone 7 development. Then you can just visible some of the default files like app.xaml, then app.xml, then one more XML file. It is not properly visible. A storyboard is required. Storyboard is required, and this is the remaining rest of the features for that Windows Phone. So main thing is storyboard, then app.xaml, and the another one is here the storyboard creation, app.xml, animation, text.xml, animation, text.xml. So as many as file you can create depending on the application type and the user requirement, but the basic of these things are this one: app.xml, animation in that plist, right, etc. Storyboard, xib, right. So these are the key points to be noted. So write a note on other useful things in Windows Phone 7 is GPS location. Other useful things in the Windows Phone 7 are the following: The other useful things Windows Phone things is, one is the GPS, another one is offline storage. uh, how offline storage is different from Android phone, you should know the clear difference is that every time the garbage collection happens when the application closes in the Windows phone, whereas Android cache memory still remain exist with the Android phone, right? Tom storming happens here, there no. So notification types, two types of notification types you can make use of this. Then other useful things are three types of notification. One is the first and simplest toast notification. Toast notification. Recently, we had discussed about the notification types in Windows Phone 7. Second is complex notification, which is the tile notification. Then the third one is the developer centric notification type. It is also called as raw type. And GPS is another useful things in Android, sorry, Windows Phone 7. It uses the Google Map again here also. And the another important feature is accelerometer to determine the phone location, etc. So this is about the discussion of revision of the previous year model question paper. You can think of it as a model question paper. Maybe some of the questions may come in your external also, may come in internals also. So depending on the question paper setter, the questions may be repeated, or sometimes totally it might be different. So be prepared, well prepare. Go through, not only refer your textbook or reference book. Several materials are available in the web itself, web resources. You can just have a look, go through, rather than just having a definition in mind. Keep practice writing the snippet codes, because that is most important to gain a good marks in the external examination. I hope you understood the model question paper of the mobile application. Okay. Is there any questions from your end? Is it required to discuss one more question paper? Are you happy with the discussion of question paper, or boring?
Thanks to the discussion previous year question papers.
Okay. Is there any requirement of repeated another question paper to discuss?
Yes, sir. I have one more questions paper.
Yeah, you share that to me. It helps others to go through that also. You
Okay,
share
sir.
that
Please.
question paper also to me. We will discuss that question paper in next class, next hour. But today, now I want to add one more discussion today about the case study for your third IA test. So be prepared, come with the preparation for third IA test. Probably the dates are already announced. Tentative dates was given, I think 5, 6, 7 of December probably. Sorry, not December, January in New Year 2021. uh, come with preparation. And one more thing, so some information has been sent from the head of the department that uh, if students, if they want to practice the uh, lab programs, they can come and take the input from the lab coordinators. So they have given the instructions before coming here to you, before coming to the college. Make sure that you require to have the COVID-19 negative certificate, RT-PC tested negative certificate, and also you need to get the consent from your parents to coming here and learning the lab programs. Okay, so that was the instruction given by the head of the department. So if you come, we will have a uh, lab program discussion in the lab. Okay. uh, so you can have a consent of the line of this discussion. Now I want to go with the case study briefly. I will go. I am already shared that PDF file in your WhatsApp group, your class group, about the case study. I will go through the simple things. Try to understand the paper, how they have written, not only just understanding of the relevant to the mobile application, also as a post graduation student, you can also understand how the people are writing research papers are writing, how they are writing a theoretical part, how they are written and how they can get a credit of it also. You will come to know about by looking into that paper. Okay, so means if you have idea in mind how you can convert it to the journal paper, also that paper, what after seeing that paper, I came to know that so even our student can try, and whatever they have institution in their mind, they can come with the some preparation of the papers also during the sixth semester. Now, as of not possible because almost we are ending the fifth semester. Probably this discussion might be helpful to write the paper, research papers in sixth semester also, at least during that time. Okay, so here the title of the case study paper is a case study of application development for mobile and location based services. So there are three authors are there. So it is difficult to write by as a novice user, as a new student. If they want to produce the paper in journals, it is little difficult. Better have a group of people with the same mindset student, and with the help of the guide, you can choose any one of the faculty as a one guide to write the papers, right? So this paper was given in that research gate is another one, so collection of research papers which was published worldwide. So from that I have taken this paper. uh, this paper was written in Sweden by three authors. One, two, three, four authors was there. So it's again the abstract is, so go through, read the content of the paper. By reading the abstract, you will come to know what kind of the paper is it. What is the content, actual content it is going to present by the author to the audience. Here, audience are the researchers, or the students, or the faculties. So in these papers, we present a case study of location dependent service aimed for tourists. See, they in this paper they were targeted for the people who is finding in the tourist place. In the tourist place, usually the tourist place are unknown to us. It is not our local town or local village. So in that tourist place, if you are using the mobile and the location based service, based on that, trying to find the particular shop for your need. Because suppose if you moving towards the jog um, jog, in that case jog is unknown, that place jog falls is unknown to you. So in that place, usually it is an hill station. Nearest location, if you don't know where to go, how to get it, or whatever it may be, for urgency needs, then you can provide such a service of application. It helps the user or tourist to get it done within on time and whenever they need it, right? So this paper targeted to such kind of the tourist. So two applications are developed. They done some work on this. They developed the two application, one based on native technologies Your native technology is HTML and related frameworks. HTML5 and related framework, they were used as a native technologies, and also they have given some implementation detail and compare the different solution in terms of location support. Usually they will write the paper in such a way that you won't get, most of the time you won't get the source code of it. So source code is hidden because there is a possibility of copyright infringement. Those kind of things comes into the picture. So that's why most of the time papers will not having. So instead of having the hard coded, they will have a algorithm steps methodologies. Probably they will discuss in the paper. Then they what they have thought that they want to implement, rather than just working on Android, not just working on iOS, not just working on iPhone or any other operating system which supports for a mobile application. Instead of they are targeting for single operating system, they want to run their application in hybrid platforms. So their feature is cross platform functionality. Cross-platform means different OSs must, with or without modification, that application should run on the different set of platforms. So our experiments show that web-based approaches may lead to significant benefits over using native technologies. Both versions of the application displayed comparable location support and compliance with required features. So what they thought, that their thinking was that, if you provide the location based application with respect to the Android, it might work in Android platform only, or if you provide iOS maybe. So if they want to work the same application in different OSs, obviously all OSs supports the web support. Web support is supported by most of the OSs. In that case, if you develop a web-based application, probably it might work in all kind of platform with a little with or without modification. So their intention was good, their idea was good. They want to do, means they discussed how they are going to do, etc. All those things in the abstract itself. By looking into abstract, we will able to come, instead of reading all the content of the paper, by looking and understanding the abstract what they have written for the paper, we will come to know all these things. Some introduction they were given, what kind of the technology they are going trying to use, what is the methodology, how they are implementing, what was the intention to provide to make it a reliable and cross platform, and also they are writing some conclusive part in the abstract also. So while the web versions superseded its native counterpart in cross platform, so their intention was good. By looking into abstract itself, we are able to understand the whole paper content in short form. So that's the power of abstract. Okay. So some of the keywords, usually in Indian context, the keywords are written below the abstract. Additional description content is given here. It is categories and subject descriptor. It belongs to which domain? So information systems applications, they were able to identify this, and miscellaneous. General terms is network services, means key location based services. Keywords location based services, applications, user, mobility. Right. Some keywords. If you are searching for this paper, if you type location based service, relevant papers which is going to be listed in the search engine. So introduction about why mobile computing is about providing data access anywhere, anytime. This is 7. Why 7 is used? This statement is referred from the reference number 7. It is listed in the reference. In the reference, in the references title heading, 7th is this. The paper of 7th is location dependent query processing, where we are and where we are heading. This paper, that statement has been referred from the author of this paper from the question, the citation reference 7. The meaning of that within the bracket with the 7 number. See, rather than go through with the only for answering the question and answer for the test, go through the each symbol which is used in the paper also. Right here, something it is written copyright 2013 ACM. This is ISSN number, and this paper cost was if you want to have the full paper of it, the cost for you have to pay for it is $15. So here ACM is it's a journal publisher. It's ISS number. Each journal have the ISS number. It is like a unique identifier to locate this paper, right? Then copyright. Copyright has been given to publish from the ACM about your publication content. Okay, is it clear? Go through once with that. Again we will be back to discussion this. If you will not able to understand, we will go through that rediscussion on this, and better you go with results how they have implemented. See, and also you will come to know some of the new terminologies which is using in the publications also. See, keyhole markup language, I never heard about this keyhole markup language. Just you use copy paste in a Google Drive, Google search engine. You will get lots of means by referring into the publications. You will have, gain in-depth knowledge of any particular domain. So before diving into a research, uh, choose your field of interest. Then you will try to search for the papers. Okay, because time is limited with us, it is difficult to go through with all the papers which was published. So thousands of papers was published in a different journal publications. Okay, so go through with the paper. Probably the 2 3 to 4 questions which will be asked from this paper as a case study question for your third internal test. Fine. I hope I made you little understand about the paper, right? Clear? Okay. So now I'll take the attendance. Thank you. If any questions, let me know. Thank you.